Hello everyone. So I think we should start right now. So first of all, welcome to this webinar on an introduction to Git and GitHub. My name is Ant Kishore and I am DSC lead from Chandigarh Group of Colleges. And today I will lead you through an introduction to Git and GitHub. So before we start, I would like to request you please turn off your camera and microphone and start with a cool mindset that if you have any doubt, then unmute yourself and ask your doubt. uh, and this the third one, it is not mandatory, it is optional in case you want some hands-on experience, so keep your laptop near yourself. Okay, so now start with Git. What is Git? So Git is basically a distributed version control system which keeps track of changes to your code. So now I know you are a little bit confused about what is this distributed version control system. So what Git basically do, whenever you create a file, for example, let's say you created a file named as index.html and you changed some of your code and you added that code to the Git repo. And so that Git repo will track all the changes you made over the period of time. Okay. So now let's have a look on what is distributed version control system. So distributed version control system synchronize a code between different people. Now, what is the meaning of this line? So now visualize this with an example. So here is computer A, which is basically my computer, and this is computer B, which is someone else's computer. You can say my collaborator computer, and this is the server computer. You can say it is the GitHub repo or your GitHub server. So now I am having a file onto my computer. So whenever I made a change and add it to the Git repo, so basically it shared all the files with the server and on my system. So when the second collaborator, means the other someone else, when he pull all the code from the server, he will have all the changes that I made to this file. So we are totally now synchronized with each other. So what is the benefit of distributed version control system? So basically, if any server dies, then you can take full backup of all the data from any one of the system. Okay, so please turn off your mic. Okay, so our third point is you can test your code without losing the original code. So what is the meaning of that? So in Git repositories, you can create different branches to test out your code. And if somehow your test fails, then you don't have to merge it with the master branch. Now we will see all these master branch and what is uh, testing in our next slides. And the fourth point is you can revert back to the old version of the code. For example, let's say you made some changes to your original code, and it is showing some errors in the second version of your code. So you can revert back to the original file. So these are some of the benefits of distributed version control system, which is basically Git. So now let's recall what is Git. So what Git do, basically it keeps track of the changes to your code. And the second one is it synchronize the code between different people when you are working with a team or you have some collaborators on the same project. And the third one is you can test changes on your code without losing the original one. And the fourth one is you can just revert back to the old version of your code. Okay. So now we will talk about what is GitHub. So GitHub is basically a code hosting platform. So I highlighted here hub. So this means basically it keeps all your Git repositories onto a hosting platform. So where you can collaborate with other team members also. As I showed in the previous slides, the distributed version control system. So the server was GitHub. Okay. So let's understand with this example. So this is my computer. Let's say this is my local computer and this is someone else's computer. And this is the GitHub server. On this my local system, I created some changes onto my code. Let's say I just initialized a variable into my code and pushed that changes to my GitHub server. So whenever someone else is trying to run that code, he will first pull that changes from the GitHub server and then create some changes with Git and push it back to the GitHub server so that we all will be into the sync. Now our next slide is how to use Git. So you can Git with command line interface or by using the GitHub desktop application. So whenever you create a Git folder, you can see there is a hidden folder created named as .git. So what this .git means, it basically contains all the changes that you made over the period of time to your code. So now we are going to download and install Git. To download and install Git on your system, you have to visit this website git.sem.com/downloads. So if you have already installed Git, so we can move on, or you can install Git right now onto your systems. If you want some hands-on experience, you have to just visit this link and you can download it for Windows, Mac OS, or Linux from here. Okay. Okay. So now we are starting with some basic commands of Git. So our first command is git init. So what this command does, it basically initialize the Git into your repository. So if you don't know what a repository is, so repository is just a folder you can say that you created onto your system. So it is termed as repository when you are dealing with Git and GitHub. So let's have an example with this. So right now I am creating a new folder here. Let's go to the staging area. And I'm opening this folder into my code editor. So you can use any of the code editor. So I am here using my Visual Studio Code. So here I am creating a JavaScript file. So let's name it as index.js. And I'm going to print here hello world program. So let's save it. So now I have to use command line tool. I am now using command line. So into this folder, you can see here is the index JavaScript file. So now I have to initialize Git into this folder so that it can track all the changes I will made in future into this file. So put command git init, and here you can see the message initialize empty Git repository in this is the location of my folder. Okay. So now let's move to our slides. So now our second command is git clone URL. So what this command does, it basically clones the repository available on the GitHub to your local machine. So let's say this is my repository on GitHub. You can go here and this is the URL of my repository. You can just click on this button to copy this URL and you can easily clone just typing in git clone and you have to paste the URL over here. So this is my URL and now I'm pressing enter. So it is cloning my webinar repository onto my local system. So now it is done. So let's check. Yes, you can see over here, this is the webinar repository. So for right now, I am deleting this one. This is just to show you how the working. So our third command is git add file name. So what this command means? So basically, when you run this command git add, it basically adds your file to the staging area. So let's see with an example. As we already initialize git onto this repository. So this is the same terminal I am using. This is basically the Visual Studio Code terminal. So now I am adding this file, which is basically git add. Now I have to use a file name, which is git add index.js. So now my this file is under the staging area. So now git is tracking my this file until or unless you don't mention this command, it will git will not track any of your file without your permission. Okay. And if I have multiple files into this repository, for example, let's say index.html. Oh, sorry. Yes. So just add some code. So see, this is the basic code. So I can also use this command git add dot. So what this means, it will track all my files, whichever I have changed just right now. So after pressing this, all my files are added to this staging area. I can also check this by pressing git status. Yes, you can see here are the two files that I have just edited. So moving to our slide, our next command is git commit message. So what this command basically does, save the changes to the repo as a new version, and the message into this inverted commas it saves as a message whenever you let's say you are visiting my this repo. You can see over here there are 13 commits I have made into this repository. So these are the messages: removed C, merged branch, added ABC. So these are the messages, and you have to really use good messages so that other developers can also understand your message. So now also I am adding this command git commit env, and here goes the message. So here I added initial commit and now press enter. So these files are committed to the Git. Now Git records all these files onto my local system. So it is now tracking my files onto my local repository. So there are three main states of your file. So whenever you modified your file, it then you will stage it, and in the third part you will commit it. Right here you can see with an diagram. This is my working directory, and whenever I run the command git add, it takes my file to the staging area, and then I have to commit it so that Git can take a snapshot of that file, and it will save it as the revision 1 so that whenever we need our previous code, we can move into the repository. So our next command is git status. So as I already showed you this command, so this is basically it shows the current changes to the repository or on which branch you are right now. So let's execute this command git status. So it is showing me that I am on master branch. Over here you can also see. So this is a better code editor, I can say. This is Visual Studio Code basically. So you can download it from the website visualstudiocode.com, and you can see over here I am right now on the master branch. So let's move to our next command. So that is git push. So what this git push means, whenever you made some changes onto your local machine, you have to push that changes to the remote server so that other collaborators can also sync with that. So they have also the new versions of the file, you can say. So right now I am going to use this command, which is basically the git push command. Hello, am I audible now? Hello. Okay, okay. So anyone having any doubt right now? Okay, no. So let's continue with our next slide, which is so right now let's load this file. So git push basically what it does, it syncs our code with the master branch of our tree so that other collaborators can also use that new file. So I will show you example in next slides. So in case of fire, you can also do this. You can commit your file and then push it on the server. So our next command is git pull. So what this means, what for example, let's say I have made some changes to the code and now I push my file to the remote server, which is basically GitHub. So what other collaborators will do before creating changes to that file, they will first pull the changes from the master branch so that they will come to know what changes I have made to the repository. So this will create a synchronization between all of us. So here comes the merge conflict. So before starting the merge conflicts, I would like to give you some examples of git push and git pull. Here I have two different. Let's say this is my local computer and this is local file. To code editor, which is repeating this. So right now you can see this is the index.html file. It looks like this is the README file I created. So now let's make some changes to this code. Now what I'm going to do is delete all this and a new let z equal to 23 and we are printing here z. Now let's save this code and first we have to do git add and now we change only one file. We can also do index.html. We can also do git add dot. So what is area in which we have just made some changes right now. We only made changes into this. Now you can use this command or the previous one, git add index.html. So I'm using this command. So now our file is added to the staging area. Now just add the command
Hello, Nand. Sorry to interrupt you,
This
but there seemed to be an audio issue. Could you please explain it again what you have just explained?
okay, sure, Ravi. Is there any audio issue? Okay, Kunal Sethi. Okay, okay. हिंदी में भी explain कर देंगे. So, are you comfortable with Hindi and English? So, right now I will use English. Just type in yes or no. Okay, 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 okay. I got it. Got it. Okay, so now we are committing. So let's made some other changes here. So I am creating some changes into this file. So I just initialize this variable that is equal to 23 and I am printing it here right now. So I added this file to the staging area. Now that this file is added to the staging area. So what we have to do right now, just git commit. So we have to use git commit with a message. So here I am typing in Z is now 23. So this file is now committed. So what I have to do now, I am going to use this command git push. Right now here you can see I am on the master branch. So this is my master branch. As you can see, this is a master branch and this is the file I am using right now. So it is on this server, remote server. I have to use git push and the name of your remote. So I have already set up the name of this remote, which is git push origin master, and then you have to type in the branch of your code. After pressing enter, this code will be pushed to your remote server. Now it is done. You can see over here. So this is my next.html file. Here you can see z equal to 23 console.log z. So this file is now updated with my local file. So let's say I put this code here, but someone else on his computer having this file. I'm going to open this into Visual Studio Code. So right now, just see here. Here there are no original the changes I have made to this file. So this is not the latest changes. So now, in order to do so, open up your terminal command. First, before making any changes, the second contributor always should do this. He will first have to pull. So what he is doing right now, let's go into our slides. So this was my local computer. I made changes and push it to the GitHub server. And now I'm working on to this system. So what I have to do, first pull down all the changes to GitHub server. So type the command git pull. So the name of your remote, which is origin, and the branch from where you want to pull the code, which is master. And just press enter. You can see now we have all the latest changes made to our file. Okay, so this is clear, or anyone having any doubt with this? Just unmute yourself and you can ask. Till now, if anyone having any doubt, so you can ask.
ओरिजिनल मास्टर मतलब जो हमारा सर्वर वो है गिटहब का।
हाँ, अब मैं
ओके।
सो एक बार मैं आपको क्लियर कर देता हूँ व्हाट इज दिस। फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से I have created this file right now. Okay, so this is totally new file. So there is no remote server connected to this file. So what I will do is before pushing it to the my GitHub server, I will go onto my account and I have to create a repository. Click here, new repository, or select it from here also. So here I am in a repository. So name it as staging. So it is not necessary that you have to match this file name to your remote file name. It can be anything. So this is public, and I am creating this repository on my GitHub server. So now you can see this is the no code. As you see, the vendor file. Here you can there are two files, index and the README file. But here you can see. But this file have this remote server have no files right now. So what I will do, I just copy this link and go to my this file. So open up the command prompt. First, what I have to do, initialize git into this, and I will add all the files to staging area. I can also do this with another command, which is git commit am. First, we are using only the m because we previously using the git add command, but now we will use git am. So it what it does, it also add the your files to the staging area and commit at the same time. So I'm committing this. So I'm name this as initial commit. So we are after branch. Now what we will do is git remote. So we have to add the remote onto our local system. You can also see this command here, git remote add, and this is the name of your remote. So you can set it as anything. So commonly we always use origin. So I am typing in here origin, and after this you have to paste this URL given over here. So just copy that and paste in here. So now my remote is added to my local repository. So what I do right now, I just git push. So now here I have to write the name of my remote, which is origin, and now I have to here write the branch, which I have to push my recent code. So after pressing enter, these both files now will be pushed to my GitHub server. Okay, so it is pushed to the GitHub server. So now when I refresh this, here are the this is the message I recorded. So this is now added to this area. So any doubts now?
No, it's clear. Thank you.
Okay. So previously I showed you how to push and pull the changes from the server. So this is my file, and here we pull the changes from the server. Now, now we are going to talk about merge constraints. What are merge constraints? So you and I are working on and we make some changes to a file on the same time. For example, let's say these are the two. So this is my repository, my local machine. So this is the repository on your local machine. So in my repository, I'm okay. I am going to open this repository on my. So what if I change the value of z let's say 34? Okay, let's say, and I
Hey, Nan, there seem to be a sort of a network issue. We are not able to see. We are not able to see the recent screen or hear or clearly hear you.
okay, so let me set up the connection properly. Hello, am I audible right now?
Yes, sir.
So my screen is visible right now. Okay, okay. So I was into my this repository, which was my local computer repository named as user. So here I change the value of z to 34. So let's check the value of z right now on the remote server. Let's close this one. Right now it is z is equal to 23 on our GitHub remote server. So here I change the value of z to 34. Now what I will do, I will push these files to the remote server by using git push then origin. Origin is what? The name of our remote and the branch which is master. So I am pushing this code to my remote server. Okay, so now this is pushed to the remote server. So now, right now we are talking about merge conflicts. So let's dive into our collaborator system. So here you can see Z is now 23 right now. It is 23, but in the latest code it is 34. So let's suppose the other collaborator change this value to 50. Okay, take this file and git and here type in Z is 50. Now, before pushing my code, I can't push my code before pulling the latest code from the GitHub server. So, in order to pull the latest code, we just made from this our local machine, which is z equal to 34, we have to type in the command git pull origin master. So here you can see here comes the merge conflict in index.html. Okay, so here you can see whenever the merge conflicts occur, you have to manually solve this issue. So now just go into our, so the upper one is the change we made, and this is from the remote server. That is equal to 34. So you have to make this manually. Now I am going with accept the change, which is that equal to 50. So now let's save it, and I am that merge conflict solved. So now I have to push this file to the remote server. Git push origin passport. So Git, so the merge conflict only occurs when you and the collaborator made some changes to the file on the same line or on the same file. Remember this. So now z is equal to 50. Let's move to our remote server and refresh this file. So now here you can see z is equal to 50. So the merge conflict is now resolved. We can also see all the commits from here. Here you can see merge conflict solved 1 minute ago. We just solved this commit. So now we are moving to our next git command, which is the git log. So what this command do? It shows you the whole history of your commit and messages. So let's run this command onto my. This is a teammate repository, basically your collaborator repository. You can either run it on your. So I am here using command git log. So it shows all the commits I have made till right now. So here you can see I have made first commit with z equal to 34, z is now 23, conflict resolved. So all of the commits are available into this git log file. So it is saved in your local machine also, and it is also available on your remote server. Okay. Uh, these are the old changes. So this is the command git reset. So why we use git reset? As I told you earlier, uh, here you can see that you can revert back to the old versions of your code. So now we are going to use this command, which is git reset. So we use this command as git reset hard, then the commit message we use. So let's open this. First we have to git log. Okay, so these are all the changes. So let's say I want to go to this file, which is okay. So this one is git. So I want to go on to this file, which is z equal to 34. So just copy this message. This is the commit code. You have to copy this from here in order to move to that file. Okay. Right now, just type in git reset hard with the commit code you just copied from here, like this. So you can see over here, head is now at this commit and z is equal to 34. Now you can see my user. This is my local repository, and that one is my collaborator repository. So in my repository, z is now 34 as we run this command right now here. So do you have any doubt regarding this command, git reset?
No, sir.
Okay, okay. So now moving to our next topic, which is basically branching into Git. So how do we make branches in GitHub and Git? So now to execute this command, you have to type in git branch and the branch name in order to create a new branch onto your repository. And if you type in only the git branch, it will show all the branches on your repo. So right now I'm going to type in git branch. So I have only right now one branch, which is the master branch. So I am now going to type in, if you have to create a new branch, git branch and the name of the branch. So function, and type in git branch. So now you can see a new branch is now created onto your repository. So it is now created on your local system only. So now just type in git check function. In order to move to this second branch, you have to, if you want to move to this second branch, you have to type in git checkout. So I typed this wrong, checkout function. So now I am switched to the function branch. Now you can see over here, I am on the function branch. So on function branch, I am going to create some changes. Let's say I am initializing a new variable with f, which is 100. Save this file, and what I will do is git push. Then you have to type in origin, the name of the remote, and now we have to type the branch on which branch we are right now. So now it is not master, it is function. So a new branch is now created onto your remote server. You can see here it is showing two branches right now. This is the master one and this is the function. When we move to the function branch, here you can see index.html now have we have to commit this file. Function branch. So on your function branch, now you have two variables. First one is z equal to 34 and the second one is f equal to 100. Just refresh this page. Here you can see we have two variables on also on our remote server. So what we are doing basically, we are synchronizing our local computer with our remote server. In case our local system get corrupted somehow or crashed, so we can create a full backup of our data from this remote server. So this is the basic benefit of this is the benefit of GitHub. So now we are moving to our next command, which is git merge. So what this command do is it merge the current branch with the it merges. You have to add branch name here. It merge this branch with the current branch. For example, let's say. So now I am moving to the master branch. First of all, git checkout master. So right now here you can see I am on master branch. So what I want to do is I want to git merge this code to the master branch. So I have to add my branch name function. So I am adding this function branch to the merge branch. Now click enter. So it is now merged. As you can see, now I will type git branch. Right now I am on master branch, and you can see here we have the new variable f equal to 100. We just added on our function branch. So that's how you can merge your code. And using these branches, you can test out your code without losing the original one. For example, your original code is on the master. You can create a different branch to test out your features. So that's why I mentioned earlier here. You can see that you can test changes to your code without losing the original one. So your master branch will always say you can create different branches for testing that we just created right now, named as function. You can create such branch, and after testing, you can merge your code into the master branch. Okay. So anyone having doubt right now? Just typing to the message, or you can unmute yourself. Git log. So we are okay. Okay. So we are going with git log. So do you know what the log file is? So when we type in the command git log, so it shows us the whole history of the changes we made into this repository or this code, you can say. Okay. So now just press enter. So these are the changes I have made till now onto this repository. So this was the latest, which is the function branch. In function branch, I added f equal to 100. This is a z equal to 34, and as I am going to enter, it is showing me the whole list of git log. If let's say I want to go on this file where I committed edit ABC. So after reading this, you can't verify that what changes I have made into this file. So that's why I am saying that please make a proper good message so that other developers can also understand what you have made into this uh, commit, what changes you have made into this commit. So I'm going to copy this commit, and I have to type in git reset hard. That means I want to revert back to my previous versions of my code. Here, just type in that commit code. Now press enter. Here you can see my code just changes. So here a equal to 22, b equal to 3, and abc equal to 1, 2, 3. So is it clear right now? Okay. So if you have any doubt, you can just unmute yourself. No problem. So we just learned how to git merge, and now we are moving to our next slide, which is git pull request. So how to make pull request. So I will show you. Now let's see what you have to do. I have created a small project for you. This is for you all. So what you have to do first, my internet connection is very slow right now. So yesterday I have created this file for you testing out what you have learned into this webinar. Sorry. So all the documentation is given over here. So what you have to do right now is you have to create a pull request. Okay. So I am just giving you this link. You have to go onto this link. Just copy from here. What you have to do, first you have to fork this repository. All getting started points are written over here. First, what I have to do, git clone. If you are using your laptop or PC right now, you can do it just now. Git clone. All the commands are given over here. You have to clone this on our on your local system. We have some shortage of time right now, so I will. So you have to do all this by yourself, or if you are having any doubts, you can ask me in future. Okay. So I am just skipping this step right now. So first of all, what you have to do is you have to fork this repository and click on your account to forking. And after this, what you have to do, clone it on your local machine with this command, and you have to create a new branch. You can create a new branch using this command, git checkout b branch name. So what this command does is it basically creates a new branch, and at the same time it switches you to that branch. So let's say, take an example. So right now, just check in how many. Oh, sorry. So we have two branches over here. So right now I am going to add git checkout B, which is for branch. If there is no branch of the same name, it will create a new branch for me and switch it to me on that branch. Git checkout B, and the new branch will be, let's say, DSC. So right now here you can see I am switched to the DSC branch, and here you can see we have total three branches: DSC, function, and master. And right now we are on DSC branch. So after this, what you have to do, you have to make all the changes on your branch only. So you have to type in your name here. So if you are cloning this repository on your local machine, you have to type in git checkout B. For example, my name is None, so I am going to type in here None. So I created a branch named as None. So what I will do here is I will make more changes. So what you have to do is add a profile page. You have to go into this file and you have to make your own file. Let me show you them. So in this file, I have a how to remove a branch. Okay, so to remove a branch, you have to just type in a command, which is git branch. This is D for deletion and the branch name. For example, let's say. So branch is right now, it is fully merged to the master branch. So it is not okay. So in order to delete it, we have to type the capital D, git branch D, and the branch name function. So it is now deleted from our repository. You can see over here. The function branch is now deleted. You can also delete our DSC branch. So let's say DSC. Now with deleted DSC branch also, we have now none and master only. So here we have a markdown file which I created yesterday. So you have to just copy this file and change this file with your information. You have to type in your location or your academic. If you want to share, then only you can do this. And in scripts, you can add any of the hello world or any function over here of in your choice of language. You can type in C, C++, or any language, and you have to upload it. So what after making your changes, you have to commit and push your changes with these three commands, which is git add. So here I will recommend you to use command git commit -am. So you don't have to use this command. So after this, you have to push your changes to your branch name, which you created, which is basically your name. So after this, what you will see create a pull request over here. You will see in your repository, you will see a button over here which shows uh, create a pull request. So you have to create a pull request onto your repository, and then we will merge into this master branch. Okay. So is this so am I clear to us? What you saying? Okay. Fine. So I think we have now only 3 to 2 minutes. So this is your project. You have to do this today. Okay. So what else you can do with GitHub? So so there are many benefits of having your GitHub account. What you can do is there is also a GitHub Student Developer Pack in which you have various several benefits. You can also be a GitHub developer, uh, GitHub campus expert at your campus. Uh, these two benefits are targeted for students only, and these two are targeted for faculty members of any campus. So this is basically the GitHub Classroom, and this is GitHub Campus Advisor. So these two are for professionals, and these two are for students. So GitHub Education Pack has so many benefits. You can purchase 3 domains from this. You can learn from this. You can have $100 free credit of your Microsoft Azure, and just sign up for it today. And one thing also, I am not sponsored by GitHub. And for GitHub Campus Advisor, which is targeted for professionals only, they can also take benefits from GitHub. They will be getting trained by the GitHub experts. So these are some of the important links. You can even take a screenshot of this, or to apply for the GitHub Student Developer Pack, you can sign up here today, right now. And for GitHub Campus Expert, you have to sign up onto this. You have to apply for an application. Then they will provide you with some uh, content which you have to master. And after this, you will be a GitHub Campus Expert. And these two are for the faculty members, or you can say professionals only. And GitHub also organizes its fest every year, which is named as Oktoberfest, in which you have to create some pull request on some repository on GitHub. And if you successfully create, I think, 4 pull requests or in GitHub, then the first 50,000 or yes. So the first 50,000 students are rewarded with the Oktoberfest t-shirt. And recently, GitHub also announced GitHub is now free for teams. You can create unlimited private repositories or have unlimited collaborators on your same repository. So you can even create your own organization today, right now. So till now, if you have any question, you can ask right now. Just unmute yourself and ask. Okay, so no questions. Okay, so thanks for joining today's session. I hope this is going to be helpful for you all in your future. So you can visit my GitHub repo on this link, and you can contact me on LinkedIn anytime. And if you want, I will provide you this whole PPT. In any case, you want to note down any of the point from this PPT. So thanks for joining. If you have any doubt, you can ping me on LinkedIn also. We will create, Kunal, we will create a shortened link for this PPT, and we'll announce it on our Instagram channel, Instagram page. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay. Thanks. Thank you all for joining this session. Okay, Yuvraj, the recording of this webinar will be available on our YouTube channel soon. Don't worry. Okay. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. See you soon.